Okay, I should be live now. And that just broadcasted. Hi guys, I'm going to start the show. This is why we're doing it. Not so live, but softly.
So I don't know, man.
Yeah, I don't get that, man. They go through all this trouble to get here and then come here and vote Democrat.
There we go. Let me see here. Okay, showing that we are live. Jay's checking out the stream back there right now. I'm showing audio. I'm showing everything is supposed to be good. So, we will go on as planned. Jay, let me know if you, there we go. Okay, so Jay's going to be checking stuff out live. And, everything seems to be working okay. Knock wood. Thank you very much for joining the show tonight, folks. Got some interesting things lined up tonight. As we discussed before, our budget's kind of limited. So Jay's going to be manning things from the side. We're working on getting some more equipment so we can add some mics and such. But I think the content we have for you tonight is pretty good. I went down and saw Elizabeth Heathos, the chief of staff for my congressman, and spoke to her about the request for classified briefing with Congressman Nunes, something I've been pushing for now since December. Let me pull this up here for you folks. There we go, and let's change that first. Hey, it's a work in progress, right? It's not easy trying to get this message out, but that's, I guess, part of the reason people get away with stuff. So here we go. All right. So I actually tried to have some things lined up a little bit better tonight. When I looked over last night's show, and I'm like, oh wow, I'm typing in something literally. CrowdStrike was the name of the company I was trying to think of, and it pops in there. But in all fairness, folks, I'm not Dan Bongino. I really have no idea what I'm doing. I'm an IT guy that worked in psychological warfare, really pioneering social media psychological warfare for the Department of Defense. I worked for a company called Dynology, owned by General James Jones, right? That's just a quick rundown. He was Obama's national security advisor. We kept the intellectual property rights for this stuff, and this is not right now. I have up on the website, I have up on the screen victimoftheswamp.com, right? And this is not me as a victim. This is victim. It should be actually Victims of the Swamp, the way I see it now. But I started writing the book before the 2016 election. I didn't really know how bad it was at the time, but we've all come to see really how bad it is, right? Because I fully believe that the capabilities, the social media psychological warfare capabilities that I helped in pioneering for Obama's national security advisor, who at the time our partner was Paul Manafort, who at the time we were the IT company for John McCain's primary during the 2008 presidential election for John McCain. Every single person that's tied to the dossier is in any significant way is inherently going to be tied to General Jones, Obama, John McCain, probably Michael Hayden. Um, these guys, I don't know which one of these guys would really be a friend of Trump or want to help him. I'm telling you right now, he was set up from the beginning. And this is what I'm trying to speak to Congressman Nunes about. I went down back in December. Let me switch pages here, but just before I go, look at the. I'd like you to take a look. I've actually got this set up pretty nicely. So right from our homepage, you can click here on ShadowNet: The American Awakening to support our Indiegogo campaign. We haven't really been able to put much effort into it as far as pushing people towards it and such, but listen, we could use your help for that. So that's a good way, nice easy way to help, right from the victimoftheswamp.com website. Then we have you can click here and order a copy of my book on Amazon directly, or you can through your donation on Indiegogo. For the next I think 3 or 4 weeks, you can actually different options. Get a copy of the book, get your name in the upcoming book that I'm writing right now, which will be focused on the ShadowNet. Right, so from here you can subscribe to our YouTube channel. You can share it. I'm gonna have it so they actually come right up right quick. They're the live broadcast, but I'm working on that. Baby steps. You can join the American Awakening from the website. So just send anybody that you want to victimoftheswamp.com. Everything that I say, I fully verify here on this site through easily verifiable and indisputable documentation, right? Go there, check it out. Now I want to show you something here real quick. I pulled this video up, and I hope the sound is going to play. Didn't test it, but we'll find that out. Hey Jay, let me know if the sound plays. And so yeah, we're not quite Fox News yet, right? But level yet. But this is June 6, 2018, and we're trying. Listen to what this guy has to say for the first few minutes here. Okay, bear with me one moment here.
Seen it. This is a Daily Beast article about this company called Wikistrat, and if you haven't seen the people who are involved in Wikistrat, here's their basically is a fake. It's kind of a Mossad fake front paper PowerPoint corporation based on kind of what we do, which is real open source, real intelligence, and so forth, not stolen secrets, real crowd participation. But they bill themselves as a crowdsource scheme, and it's full of DIA guys. I mean, David Shedd used to run DIA, Michael Hayden, NSA. James Jones was on the National Security Council, and all these Mossad guys here, Shay Hershkovitz, Elad Schaffer, Joel Zamel, etc. It's kind of a combination of really stolen secrets and then also influence together and packaged around a crowdsourced wrapper. But the significance of this company is they tried to set up Trump. And mainly targeting Trump's son and also Jared Kushner. So you have this guy named Adam Lovinger we talked about yesterday from the Office of Net Assessment being introduced, and there's always these intermediaries. And of course,
okay,
Flynn
so
Intel Group gets involved with a $530,000 payment.
So you're starting to see, folks.
Who's a guy named George Nader, who introduces two characters we've introduced to you.
Well, let me keep this guy going here.
MBZ and MBS. MBZ being the main UAE arms buyer, and for the UAE, and then MBS being the main arms buyer for Saudi Arabia. So,
okay, so I'm going to stop it there. But basically, okay, everything this guy is saying, and I'm not. This first time I've ever been to his site, I again just Googled Wiki Strat is WikiLeaks went down. You can find this, right? But you can also find this exact same, everything he's saying, you can find on the New York Times, Washington Post. You can find it everywhere. Nothing this guy said is not absolutely verifiable through other sources that are supposed to be quote unquote good sources, right? So, you know, um, when the company that I developed, the exact same capabilities that we indicted the 13 Russians for, is on the board of directors with this company, along with his partner, who is great. Here we go. Along with his partner, who is General Michael Hayden, right? So we get these people, and they're all directly tied to the top of this. Both Michael Hayden and General Jones are with Wikistrat. General Jones was the chairman of the board of Atlantic Council, which is where you had CrowdStrike, which is also connected. They're very well connected to that. All of the people that you see at the lower level, that you see Fox and all these other news organizations chasing around, right? They all work at lower levels to these people, right? So that's why I reached out to. Several different news organizations. I've been doing that for a long time. And I reached out to my previous congressman before I moved, Charlie Crist, and so I reached out to him, and then Gus Bilirakis, and all of these people, right? So this is going back to December, right? Now here we have. I wanted to show you before going on with that. This is I spoke about this the other day. All right, this is actually yesterday. So this is what IIA is. You can see this at victimoftheswamp.com. Go to the Awakening section, and you'll find this under Attention Journalists. It's called IIA. Okay, so IIA is Interactive Internet Activities. This is a DoD memorandum from the chief of the Interactive Internet Activities Branch for the Department of Army, Multinational Corps, Iraq, Baghdad, Iraq, September 12, 2008. This confirms everything I'm saying. This is basically saying, well, we're not even basically, okay, it's been my distinct pleasure to serve as the direct supervisor for Mr. Patrick Berge from 28 December through 12 September 2008. During that time, Mr. Berge served as the lead technical director, directly supporting a classified Department of Defense information operations program. Right? I can go on, and they love me, right? No. Okay, so and here's who it's signed by, Major Bradford Burris, Chief Interactive Internet Activities. There's his email address. I'm not trying to dox him. It's a government email address. They have filters in place for that. And it was meant to be public, right? I put this out on my resumes. I do everything. So I'm not doxing anyone, but I'm verifying that this is what I did, right? So if you have a problem with that or a question with that, please let me know how. Now, this is IIA, folks, right? So at the same time, that's 2007, 2008 that I was there. At the same time, this is when this policy came out, June 8th, 2007. So just a few months before I started that program. And now this is the definitions for IIA, the policy, subject, policy, Department of Defense. But we go down here, and this is the purpose of this, right? So under policy for media, combatant commanders and ASD PA will ensure that only public affairs personnel engage in interactive internet activities with journalists employed by media organizations, including news websites, online bulletin boards, blog sites affiliated with news organizations. Some individuals and websites not affiliated with established news organizations have become recognized news sources for larger audiences, giving them stature equivalent to an established news organization. Only public affairs organizations may engage such designated individuals and websites. So in other words, they're saying there's a level at which there's a level at which IIA can engage with and interact with and contract with and do whatever the hell they want with a journalist. All right. Now they are just breaking it down to what level. Like, okay, so only public affairs organizations may engage such designated individuals and websites. It is the responsibility of all combatant commanders to determine when the internet communications of a specific individual and website rise to the level equivalent to a news organization. So I ask you, is Sarah Carter a news organization at that level where you cannot play with her or use her for influence operations? And I'm just using Sarah Carter as an example. You could go with Dan Bongino. You could go to other people. And I'm not saying that about him. I love Dan Bongino, right? He's awesome. But, okay, and then by comparison, would that exclude someone like Judge Jeanine? Right? I believe it would. Now, what was the purpose of this what was the purpose of all that in 2008? Well, there was at that time in place the Smith-Mundt Act, which protected Americans against propaganda. Obama didn't like that, so in 2012 they got rid of it. Actually, Republicans helped him get rid of it. I think it's despicable, and I think Republicans need to fix that because now we're dealing with the ramifications of it. And I think John McCain actually probably was somebody pretty well behind it. And I'll show you here in a bit why I say that. But before I go on, because I am running short on time, I wanted to show you this, right? Because at what level is that interference? And this is what I want to speak to about Devin Nunes about, right? So this was me at a speaking event that I did a while back. You can find this particular article. It's called Hannity is Right, Journalism is Dead. And I just found this interesting because I've engaged with both Sarah Carter and Judge Jeanine. I've spoken to both of them on the phone personally. I've actually spent a great deal of time on the phone with Sarah Carter. Judge Jeanine, that's another story, right? I've communicated with her. Last thing I said, and this is what I want to show you about here real quick, and this is why I'm trying to contact Devin Nunes' office. So the last time I spoke to Judge Jeanine, I asked her these questions. Well, this is me saying, I'm sorry for the call at the doctor's office. I only spoke to her for a brief time. I've blocked out all but the last 2 digits of her number, so if you know Judge Jeanine, this is a serious, I didn't just guess the last 2 digits of her phone number, but I said, listen, I just spoke to Congressman Bilirakis and Devin Nunes about arranging a classified meeting. This is back on December 18th, 2018, before the end of the Mueller indictments, right? So now you go down and you got Judge Jeanine on that same day replying to me, hey, working on this now. Now, I had just spoken to her on the phone, and her voice is very distinct, so there's no denying that's who I spoke to. Well, several months later, I contact her back, although I was speaking all during that time with Sarah Carter, and she just disappeared on me after promising me that my story was going to air on Fox News the following week. Never heard from her again after that. That was the last text message I got from Sarah. But I would say this, right? So I'm like, Judge, the last I heard from you was back in December, where you had replied that you were looking into my story. No one has ever contacted me on your behalf. I believe you to be someone of honor and integrity, just as I hope to hear from you soon. Thank you, Patrick Berge, right? So I even included a picture of me in uniform. I am a man of honor and integrity. I was the first 40-year-old to complete basic training in Fort Benning history. I enlisted at the age of 39, turned 40 at basic training back in 05. I pride myself on a patriot, and I think it's really actually kind of disgusting what these people are doing to me. But she responded to that on February 4th, saying, I will speak to Congressman Nunes, RE your information. Now that is back on February 4th. I wrote this article on March 13th. I have not heard back from anyone. No one's responded to me. I filed a complaint with the Inspector General shortly after that. I filed another one after that to update my address with it to make sure that there was no way, because I just moved, to make sure they were able to contact me. I still have nobody contacting me. So today I reached out to Elizabeth Hitos. I met her I actually ran into her in the parking lot today. She asked me to send the information that her staffer had sent me last week, which was that they had updated my request to reflect an answer, right? Not just a don't reply or anything, but an answer. It's now April, and this was originally back in December. And what I'm asking you is, listen, did Judge Jeanine speak to Congressman Nunes back on February 4th? And if so, why did I never hear from her or essentially Sarah Carter again? Did Congressman Nunes influence not just potentially a low-level person like Sarah Carter, no offense, but did he influence Judge Jeanine? Because I kind of think that's illegal if he did, and I want an answer to that. And I've got text messages, and unless you want to dispute these and say that these are wrong, now I'm not even going to bring Sarah into this, but if you go to the page, you'll see Sarah's messages. And what do they do all day? Sarah Carter all day exposes and holds people accountable in the media, in politics. She will expose them if they are doing really crappy things. So I'm exposing them. It's not my nature, and I don't assume that if you instant message me and you're not a personal friend, if this is a political thing and it's a like you're a journalist and I'm speaking to you, that I'm not documenting everything, because that's the only way you can do it. If you don't document that you've spoken to these people, they will blow you off, they will ignore you, and then you will never be heard. And is that what you want? Because I kind of think that people deserve to hear my story and decide for themselves what role General Jones, what role President Obama, what role Hillary Clinton played. When you hear this story, it is absolutely insanity. So one more thing here. Go to the website. You can see the McCain thing, how he's tied into the PSYOP. And if you go under this last one, Celeste Wallanders, I'm a little over here, guys. If you go over to a Celeste Wallanders article that I wrote, you can see the actual chart. Everybody listed in red on this chart was directly involved with the ShadowNet all the way up to 2016, or iterations thereof the ShadowNet. Everybody in red is connected to the ShadowNet that I developed for Jones back in 2007, and they are also tied to, let me go down here, it's actually, no, it's not a good one, and they're actually tied to go to what? Go to my face? Oh, they don't want to see my face. I was showing them the chart. All right, Jay says go to my face. Well, you know, I've got a great face for radio, but now you get it. Okay, I'm going to sign off. I ran a little bit late. There's a lot to absorb, but folks, if you follow me on this, if you have a question, ask it. I'll answer it. If you believe that Judge Jeanine and Sarah Carter are behaving responsibly under their obligations of the Fourth Estate, the protections provided to them under the Constitution, if you believe that seeing those text messages, seeing a message from Judge Jeanine that says, I am contacting right now Devin Nunes about something that, and he's the head of the Intelligence Committee at the time, and I'm trying to get classified information to them that I have direct information that needs to be heard by Mueller's team, and this is not to hurt Trump. It has nothing to do with Trump whatsoever. It has everything to do with a cabal of people that absolutely hate him and set him up. And I can show you how they did it. I actually built the capability for them that they used. So if you think that that's a problem, help me get this message out. I don't know what more I can do. I've literally, with Jay's help, I've literally set up an environment to where I can walk you through this. I can show you these. I'm posting you this information. But if you don't share it, if you don't contact your congressman, if you don't contact Judge Jeanine, if you don't contact Sarah Carter, hey, by the way, would somebody contact Dan Bongino? I love the guy. He's so close every single show. But he never connects. He's always connecting all the people every day on his show. He's connecting people to the Mueller indictments, to setting Trump up, but he always gets like one person below the actual people that are doing it. Dan, Mr. Bongino, if you would reach out to me and sit down and talk with me for a good long lunch, I will blow your freaking mind and I will answer so many questions you have. But right now I'm being shut out to the point where, wow, Jay and I are doing a broadcast right now. And I get it. We got a couple, 2-3 subscribers, and 2 of them are Jay and I, right? But we've been starting to build up pretty good on our Facebook Awakening page. We're going to start sharing that out. And I got an interesting certified letter today, which I'm not going to go into because Jay said I shouldn't, and he's probably pretty smart about that, but it's actually very, very vindicating for me. And I'll update everybody on that in the next maybe few weeks, depending on what happens. But yeah, so I'm not actually losing everything. Every once in a while I'm getting a win. And I thank you guys for joining us. Please like, subscribe, share. And I'm trying to do better at this. I'm trying to get better at it. Hopefully everything worked okay, sounded okay, quality was okay. We need to get some more equipment, and we need your help. So y'all have a great evening. And again, thank you for watching. Have a great night.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't get that, man. They go through all this trouble to get here and then come here and vote Democrat.